Hey folks, today is Friday, February 8th, 2019. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino. I'm a grown adult who can't grow a real beard, but we're here to talk about video game stuff every Friday. It's been a lot of news this week. The biggest thing, obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, is Apex Legends. This surprise launch on Monday is a EA-published, Respawn-developed, free-to-play Battle Royale game set in the Titanfall universe. Now, if you know me, you know I really love Titanfall, and I really want more Titanfall, but I think this is pretty great. We did put out a before you buy on it. I'm terrible at the game, but I really enjoy what it does. It adds a lot of new mechanics and just really clever tweaks to the Battle Royale genre. I say as someone who's more into PUBG and doesn't really like Fortnite, I love what they're doing here. Titanfall, from a first-person shooting gameplay perspective, is really great, so for them to have it here is dope. But the real big news is how big of a freaking hit this thing has been. A surprise launch announcement seems to have done pretty well for them because it's gotten apparently 10 million downloads and users and has typically 1 million concurrent players. That is huge numbers for a game like this, and especially just for like a random sudden launch. The question a lot of people are asking, like, is this ever going to compare or compete with Fortnite? No, I don't think so at all. Fortnite has just become this own weird, untouchable thing that I don't think can really completely be replicated. But still, what we got here is a game, a free-to-play Battle Royale game that I happen to enjoy. I'm curious to see what you guys think of this game. Maybe you're just not into free-to-play at all. I get that. But if you can deal with that, and if you just like Battle Royale games and you're not tired of them yet, what do you think? Who's your favorite character? Also, it is worth pointing out that Vince Zampella, head of Respawn, said that there is still Titanfall stuff coming. He didn't say Titanfall 3, but he said that they are still, working and pursuing the Titanfall universe, which still, thank God. I love me some robots. Also, since we are just talking industry news, a story that did fly under the radar, but I think you guys should really pay attention to, is a new studio set up by 2K. This is a completely new studio that they're going to have under their wing to develop games, but it's going to be headed up by Michael Condrey, who you may know as one of the founders of Sledgehammer Games and also one of the guys behind Visceral Games. So that could be interesting. I'm keeping my eye on that. That's all we really have so far. I wonder what kind of studio this is going to be. Is it going to be like a Hangar 13, the guys who made Mafia 3? Like, are they making single player games? What is it? We have no idea, but just wanted to keep you guys posted on all the goings-ons. Goings-ons? Going-ons? Chinese food's still definitely gonna be a thing, right?
I'd be down.
Okay, good. Also, in some interesting news, if you probably noticed from the title of the video, are some RPG details. IGN put out a preview that had some interesting info, and there's a lot of info out there now about a game coming in March called Outward. This is an RPG for all the platforms, and it's got some interesting stuff going on. Some of it kind of risky, but I appreciate what they're doing. Essentially, it's a adventure RPG. You're a character who can, learn magic, use swords and stuff like that. But the way the game is set up is that you start out as a complete nobody. It's up to you to decide, basically what your story is, but more importantly, what your skills are, what you want to pursue, and you pursue them completely from the ground up, to the point where even once you are awesome, you're not a superhero at all, and apparently you can get destroyed very easily. The game is also doing a lot in terms of where you sleep or where you camp for the night, where something like Skyrim, you just click it and a timer goes down. Here you have to worry about how much time you spend sleeping, how much time you spend repairing your gear, and how much time you spend just keeping watch. All of those will apparently affect your stats in different ways, and the game can be played cooperatively, so you also have to manage, essentially, are you going to guard your buddy while he sleeps? If he sleeps too long, some of his meters will be up. You got to watch out all that. It's really interesting. They're also dealing with how weight and picking up items works. Obviously it's like a lot of other games where you can become encumbered, but you can also choose to drop your backpack at any point. So essentially, if there's a fight happening, you can drop your backpack, be unencumbered, start fighting, and then when you're done, put your backpack back on. Really, really interesting ideas. I'm curious to see if it'll get bogged down too much in the weeds of realism and stuff to manage, because sometimes games can do that where they just go too far, for me personally at least, but I still think this will probably scratch the itch for a lot of players. I'm just curious to see if it all really pays off.
Yo, what's that game called?
Outward?
That actually sounds right up my alley.
And speaking of RPGs that are really taking risks, we do have a couple of new details about the Outer Worlds. The big thing that is really interesting, and it's Obsidian as hell, is the fact that in this game, apparently, you're going to be able to kill any NPC you want, even essential ones that are important to quests and stuff. We don't really know too much yet other than that. Apparently, it is going to work where you can kill the guy even that you see in the beginning of the trailer, the scientist that breaks you out, and then essentially you just get wrapped up with another guild or faction and go a different path. That sounds incredibly ambitious, almost scary ambitious. It has to boil down to, at some point, there's one NPC in the game that can't be killed, right? You could kill a lot of NPCs in New Vegas, and they handled that pretty well. Still, I think that's a really cool idea, and I think if anybody can kind of figure that out from a design standpoint, but also from a writing and scripting standpoint, it is Obsidian, and that's why, I mean, like, for me personally, this is still like one of my most anticipated games. Also, I don't know if you guys missed this, but Microsoft and Xbox announced this Halo experience, which is essentially like this traveling interactive museum event fan thing type of thing. How many times can I say thing in a sentence? But you're going to be able to buy tickets and attend, and there's like there's Pelican flight simulators. There's essentially a VR experience where you can be a Spartan. There's a laser tag arena that looks really cool, and you get like actual marine weapons from the game. There's also going to be an interactive museum. You're going to be able to like play with artifacts and stuff and experience the Halo ring. You're also going to be able to see real life replicas of the armor and a warthog, which I'm really into. And I think this is just kind of cool. For Halo fans, you must be shitting bricks for this. It's going to be, at least here for the East Coast, it's going to be in Philadelphia. We're definitely going to try and go, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I totally want to go. On the flip side, too, I would love to see like a major PlayStation title do something like this. Like if Sony embraced this, too, it could be like a whole different type of thing for video game fans. But that's just wishful thinking. I like going to things and doing stupid stuff like this. Also, in case you missed it, since we are just talking about Xbox, the original Crackdown is now free to download for everybody. And that's really cool. I've actually been playing it recently, and I think it still holds up quite a bit. So there you go. But now we got to do the thing where we catch up on all the trailers that dropped this week and just stuff to watch. So all of this stuff will be linked in the description below. But the first thing we have is a Division 2 trailer that details the endgame content, which I think is really important to know what you're getting into. We also got an Anthem trailer that does the exact same thing. It gives you all the endgame info to just see what you're playing for extended periods of time. We also got a trailer for Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, which is going to be dropping in March. And I think this is a really good trailer. And I'm not going to lie, even though it is one of the weaker Assassin's Creed games, this trailer got me really excited to replay it. Also linked in the description below is a video by YouTube user Mythic Marty, who recreated the original Resident Evil 2 opening levels in LEGO worlds, and it's really impressive. His attention to detail here is really great, from the enemy placement to the way Leon weaves in and out of the enemies, and also just the fixed camera angles. He just goes for that, and it's really cool to watch, especially if you played the original obsessively. But if you watch anything that we linked in the description below, I think you should definitely check out YouTube user Gage Allen, who makes game trailers that are really cool, but what he did here is made like a short for Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 that is essentially created from captured footage while random people were playing in multiplayer. No scripting, no staging or anything like that. And from the sound to the editing to the voiceover to the actual visuals, it's awesome. It's incredible to watch. Say what you want about Battlefield games. This should make you appreciate it even more, especially wait till after the credits, because there's good flybys of all the maps that I just really appreciate the design there. But also, one last thing, most importantly, we haven't given them a shout out in a while, but Gameranx Espanol, the Gameranx channel for Spanish language viewers, if you haven't been following, has been killing it lately. We've changed it quite a bit since when it was first announced. Now JB is running it, and he's absolutely killing it. It's a lot of original content there, so if you do speak Spanish, consider going over there, subscribing and checking them out. In other news, I don't know why this wasn't like a huge thing, but Red Dead Redemption 2 has apparently sold 23 million units worldwide. That's pretty big, man. That's a lot of video games that have been sold. That's a lot of people playing that game. I wonder how many people actually finished it. I would love to see that data, but interestingly enough, also thanks to Twitter analyst Daniel Ahmad, he pointed out that the original game sold 15 million units in its whole lifetime. So Red Dead Redemption 2 completely surpassed that, and it's still only been a few months. In the sake of keeping you guys informed as well, the Geralt of Rivia Monster Hunter thing has dropped today, so now you can play as Geralt. There's Geralt armor. You hunt a Witcher-themed monster. Also, the palico you get with Geralt is like a gross necker. Also, February 15th, there's like the second batch of content where you're going to be able to get a Ciri-themed armor. So that's really cool. If you're still playing Monster Hunter World, it's probably worth checking out. You still want to do Chinese food?
You've asked us like 3 times.
I'm so hungry.
Are you hungry?
I'm so hungry.
So
Let's
once
do
you're
it.
done, I'll call and order it.
Okay. Also, I don't know if all you guys caught this out there, but I know we got some Capcom fans, and I know we got some Dragon's Dogma fans out there like me. But Capcom's higher up, Hideaki Itsuno, who has been the lead behind Devil May Cry since I think Devil May Cry 3, said in an interview that he could have either made Devil May Cry 5 or Dragon's Dogma 2. He claimed that he had Dragon's Dogma 2 ideas in his head, but they decided decided to go along with Devil May Cry 5. For those of you that don't know, Dragon's Dogma was just a really good Japanese take on Western style RPGs. It was a ton of fun and criminally underrated. But Itsuno also was like a total tease at the end of this interview. This is what he said. Here we are. We're now finishing up DMC 5, but I had ideas for Dragon's Dogma 2 at the time as well. So here we are. It's the end of this project. That sounds to me like next he wants to make Dragon's Dogma 2. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. I don't think so. I think he's being kind of obvious, which is actually pretty unexpected. I like that he's being forthcoming about it, and I'd really like to see what they could do with a sequel. Who knows? Maybe it's just wishful thinking. I don't know. Also, one last weird story. This is really small, but apparently Anthem saves will transfer over if they make Xbox Next and PS5 versions. This is like weird complete talk, but one of Anthem's developers did an AMA and someone asked, hey, when you upgrade to next-gen consoles, you're going to be able to carry over save files? And he said, always. But is that like hypothetical? Is he just talking shit? I don't know. Are we at that point now, though, where Anthem is like one of the last releases of this gen, and then when new consoles come out, it's going to be that game that's in between and it's ported over? Who knows for sure? I mean, because judging from the way it performed on PS4 and Xbox One, that frame rate during the demo, oof. Who knows for sure? I don't know, but I want to see what you guys think. Let's talk about all this stuff. But before we go, we got to do that console giveaway we do every single week. You know how this goes down by now. Linked in the description below. There's a link to sign up, and you enter once, and then you're entered for good. And then every single week we go in and randomly choose one of those people to win a free console of their choice. So this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because we're going to be reaching out to you to figure out how we can send you your free stuff. Now we got to talk about the stuff that has been going on this week. I want to know what you guys think about all this RPG news between Outward and the Outer Worlds. Do you think these changes and risks essentially are going to be enough to make the games really interesting for you personally? Also, Apex Legends, is that something you're into? Did you play? Like I said in the beginning, I want to know what character you're playing as, because my favorite is Dr. Caustic, or as I call him, Dr. Gas. Would you go to a Halo experience museum type thing, an interactive thing? Not only that, like, pick your favorite video game series of all time. If it could have its own museum, what would it be, and what would you want from it? I'd want like a weird Metal Gear museum where like you could
Kiss Snake.
Shit your pants and hide in a cardboard box. Not only that, I also want to know what you guys are playing this week. It always helps like gauge interest for videos and stuff. So let's talk down in the comments. Anything you want to talk to me about at all, we'll be down there talking to you guys as much as possible. But of course, if you have anything else for me, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram, or my other YouTube channel, Jake Baldino, and at Jake Baldino, all that stuff. But thanks for coming around and watching us talk about stuff every Friday. We really appreciate it. As I always say, Tuesday, we're also live every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, if you want to catch us talking about the latest games and giveaways and stuff like that. But as always, clicking the like button does help us out. We really appreciate it. And if you're new, you should consider subscribing, because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.